Welcome to this segment of Consumer Thursdays, brought to you by the Consumer Council of Missouri. My name is George Robnett. I'll be your host today. With me, of course, always behind the scene is Mr. Antonio Watson, our producer, and my main man when it comes to making sure that this information gets out to the community. Today, we have a very special guest in Mr. James Ingram. James is a skilled, trained facilitator in making it happen for more than 16 years now with the Community Action Agency of St. Louis County. Making it happen is one of the most important aspect of the program that James conducts with the Community Action of St. Louis County. Again, James is not only over the Reentry program, but the entrepreneurial program, as well as the employment program at the Community Action Agency of St. Louis County. With that, I'd like to welcome Mr. James Ingram.
Thanks for having me, George.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for being here. It's truly a pleasure to have you. You know, one of the things at at Community Consumers Council of Missouri that we work on is leveling the playing field. And, there's no other example that I can think of other than work that you do that helps people level the playing field when it comes to the reentry program you have, as well as the employment and particularly the entrepreneurial program that you have, and that you train and work with individuals to become business owners and businessmen in the community. I know that is a tremendous program, has tremendous benefits to the community, and has continued over, 16 years now to be impactful for residents of St. Louis County. And for that, I thank you, my man.
Well, I certainly appreciate it, and we have a wonderful team in our reentry department. And I can't take full credit for everything, but it is something that I am passionate about. And it is something that the agency has become very serious about.
Great.
And if we're going to make a change in our community and be impactful in terms of providing those opportunities, no other community that I can think of deserves that more than our justice-involved people who have paid their debt to society and come back and just simply want an opportunity.
Absolutely, absolutely. Tell me a little bit about the history of the program, James. I mean, when did it really start? Did it start when you came with the agency 16 years ago?
In truth, CAASTL has probably 30 years have been dabbling in reentry in terms of having an anger management class, a substance use class, that sort of thing. Some case management in dealing with that. However, during the time that you were full disclosure at CAASTL, it became a thing that justice-involved individuals needed programming to help to reintegrate them into society, and we happened to write a grant proposal for to the United Way, which I was a part of putting a lot of that together, and we received funding, which enabled us to have a standalone reentry program. Now, during that time, I had been teaching a certified curriculum, making it work for 8 years, almost 10 years in the Justice Center in St. Louis County, and impacted several thousand individuals in terms of teaching that.
You actually went into the Justice Center and conducted these classes
3 nights a week.
Wow.
3 nights a week for 2 hours solid. And it became a feeder for our justice-involved efforts at CAASTL. In terms of I teach them for a month, I teach women for a month, I teach men for a month, and would give them our information. And when they returned back into society, they would contact us, and we would integrate them into anger management, substance use, whatever they needed, wraparound services, intensive case management. And then when we got the funding from the United Way, we said, okay, we're going to need a director of that particular program. We had one person that preceded me, and since I've taken the reins of that particular position, and we've expanded with a dedicated case manager, employment specialist, a skill up a case manager, which I can get in the details about those,
right.
as well as I designed the entrepreneurship curriculum specifically for justice-involved individuals.
Right. Well, talk about that entrepreneurial program, because I mean that's really interesting to me. I mean, when we look at what's going on today, I mean a lot of people going into business themselves, but this is something you saw a trend of years ago, and particularly for those persons that was involved in the justice system.
Well, I joke about this, but what you see is when you're embedded inside of the Justice Center, you're teaching women, men for 5 weeks at a time. What you see is that these are some of the most entrepreneurial people that you ever want to meet. Now, granted, some of the things that they're engaging in aren't legitimate. I said entrepreneurial, but not necessarily legitimate. So the trick is to teach them how to legitimize those instincts, those attributes that they have, and be able to produce products and or services where they can make a living. And
Absolutely.
It's I would say just instinctively from some of the things that they do on the street. And I'll take, for instance, the people that are there, most of whom are there for drug-related charges.
Okay.
We can pick our favorite school, Morehouse. If you got an MBA from Harvard, you're going to learn in business to create a business. You're going to learn to do the management, to manage personnel. You're going to learn about product quality, all of those things that they have to be mindful of, say if they're in the drug business. Right. So I tell them, I said, you have the same instincts of someone who's getting an MBA at Harvard. Absolutely. You just have to take those things and channel them in a legitimate way, and you'll be successful.
Wow, understandable. I mean, that's I had never really looked at it that perspective, but that's a very interesting perspective and very true perspective and real. I mean, it's really real. Because they are some of the most entrepreneurial people that you want to meet, and for the most part, very smart people.
Brilliant.
Yeah, I mean, they could have gotten a degree from Boston University if they wanted to.
They could have. If they'll let me have one, right. Certainly they can get one.
Right, absolutely, absolutely. Your curriculum. Let's talk about the curriculum that you have, because you talked about making it work. You talked about anger management, and you talked about other programs. So once the people are, free for a second, they come to you, do you assess them, or are they required to participate in certain courses for sake of a term?
They self-determine that this is what they want to do.
Okay.
So, for instance, we have an excellent employment specialist at the agency, Sean Muhammad. Mm-hmm. He can get some justice-involved clients the work that they desire. Okay. We have a skill-up case manager, which in that program, if they're on SNAP, and they have SNAP benefits, it will pay to skill them up in terms of short-term training. Wow. At the community college, they want to get a CDL license. If they want to get a technical certification, we can pay for that. However, there are people who don't fit into any of those boxes. Mm-hmm. They don't want to work for anyone, or they're so deflated and defeated in the jobs that they've had, it doesn't pay the type of money that they're accustomed to having. They would prefer to be entrepreneurial. So the program shows them the rudimentary information that they need to know. For instance, ideation, how to put a product together, how to market it, how to brand it, how to receive funding to help facilitate what they want to do, how to start a low-cost startup business, that sort of thing, and then work through it. We have them to pitch in the class. They'll do pitches for how they would try to court funders and clients with their business, and they work through it. The other piece is once they complete and graduate from that particular program, we have developed a relationship with Harris Stowe State University and their Center for Innovation and Entrepreneurship. Now, when I designed that curriculum,
this is with Harris Stowe
State University. Okay. Yes.
Excellent. Oh,
LaTanya Collins Smith, a good friend of mine, and the president of Harris Stowe.
Outstanding.
I happen to be having a casual conversation with her, and it just shows you how networking is just essential with everything that you do. And I happened to mention her. I said, I got this curriculum I just designed for justice-involved individuals. And she said, hey, we're about to start up a Center for Entrepreneurship. So she said, when they finish with you, we'll put them in our first cohort. So they test drove their entire program. Their first cohort was completely comprised of justice-involved individuals from our program, and they all graduated with flying colors. Very emotional ceremony, and we've since been able to refer people there. So consider our entrepreneurship program for our justice-involved individuals to be Entrepreneurship 101, and then there's like a graduate level class there for them. So they go there and they not only take it to a different level, but they also provide them with resources, laptops, mentors.
And I'm sure that's exposure that a lot of them are not accustomed to, but grateful to receive.
Of course. And who else is going to take them under their wing? I mean, we're talking about a historically black college.
Right, Black University.
And they are passionate about our people, irrespective to whether they have a justice-involved background or not, which what I find, pardon me, is it's interesting. When I sell this concept, I know I'm preaching to the choir with you, but you have some people who kind of look askance or look down on individuals who are just involved. And I tell them, I said, okay, so it's tax season. How many of y'all are, cutting corners on your taxes? How many of you were in a hurry to get from one appointment to the next? You got a little heavy on the accelerator. Right. But for the grace of God, you could have gotten caught. You could have been in trouble for a tax evasion or some of those things. So don't look askance at these individuals. They got caught. That's the difference. And you didn't. Okay. So, and then they deserve a chance to reintegrate into society, be gainfully employed, be an entrepreneur, pay taxes. Yeah. They have that choice. So a lot of this revolves around sensitizing the community to the need to impact our justice-involved individuals in a positive way.
Right. Well, you're so true. So people can get hung up in certain situations that get them involved with the justice system, and it can be minor in many things that a lot of people just overlook because, as you indicate, they haven't gotten caught.
That's right. Exactly.
So it's an interesting perception you have there. James, tell me a little bit about the successes of the program. Tell me a little bit about what you see. I mean, what brings you this work? What really, brings satisfaction to you as the director of the program when you see these individuals come through the door?
When I see an individual who came to us who was hopeless, who came to me and said, Mr. Ingram, they're not giving me a chance. I go for the job interview. Right. I've been through 3 interviews. And then they just waited till the 3rd interview to tell me my background showed that I have a felony. Right. And I'm qualified for the job. You to see the hurt in an individual's face. They've done all of the right things. They've gotten a certification. They've done the things that they need to do, and they don't get the job. So it's deflating. And you want to give people, as a part of the mission of the agency, you want to instill hope in the individuals. Absolutely. You want to elevate them. And this is, to an extent, is what we try to do. We try to give them hope, give them hope, and give them tools, opportunity,
and the tools for the future, so they can move
forward. And that's all as an individual, irrespective to whether you're just involved or not. Right. It can ask for is an opportunity. Is an opportunity.
All of us. I don't care if you got a degree from Morehouse or Boston University, whatever. If the opportunity does not present itself,
that's right.
Then.
That's right. And opportunity doesn't mean I'm a DEI hire or I'm someone, you give me a break. Although I can argue that there are people who get preferential treatment in society by virtue of how they're born. Absolutely. But the point is, if you look at, you played sports. If you look at sports, the thing about sports is that if we're playing on a football field, it's 100 yards. If my quarterback is better than your quarterback, if my running back is better than yours, my wide receivers are better, we're going to win because the rules are the same. Right. The length of the playing field is the same.
Absolutely.
And this is not because of, if you talk to the wrong person, they're going to tell you, those black guys, they do well because they're just natural born athletes. The playing field is level. So when the rules are what they are, whether it's football or bid whist or whatever, we're going to do well. And we need an opportunity.
Absolutely. And again, that is part of the objective of the Consumer Council of Missouri, is to level the playing field for everyone who is a consumer of goods, services, and basically just a member of our community. Well, James, let me ask you, in closing, you got anything you'd like to share with us?
Yes, and first I'd like to thank you all for having me here, and you guys do wonderful work. And they're fortunate to have you working for them. So it's the last compliment you're gonna get from me today. But no, I'm just kidding with you. But the one thing I'd like to say is this: the key metric to determine whether or not this program is successful is the recidivism rate.
Absolutely.
The recidivism rate, or for those who don't know what recidivism is, whether the degree to which someone returns back to a life of crime, for the state of Missouri is about 43%. For the nationally, it's about 77%.
Wow.
The recidivism rate for our program last year was 4.3%.
Wow.
This year, our recidivism rate is 1.2%.
Absolutely.
So it speaks to the benefit of wraparound services, addressing those challenges that our justice-involved clients have, and then putting them in a position to succeed.
With that, Mr. Ingram, I want to thank you, sir. Thank you for your time. Thank you for consideration. Thank you for sharing this information with us, which I think is very informative and vital for our community.
My pleasure.
Because it shows the people they have an opportunity, and there is an opportunity out there for them, and that they can get this opportunity by contacting you through the Community Action Agency of St. Louis County. Yes. And they don't have to be a county resident. Am I correct?
That is correct. With our justice-involved population, we can serve city as well as county residents. We have a wonderful relationship with the new prosecutor, Melissa Price-Smith, and we're going to be doing some great things.
Fantastic. With that, again, Mr. Ingram, thank you, sir. We sincerely appreciate your time, your consideration, and if we can be of any assistance to you at any time, feel free to contact me.
You already have. My pleasure.
Thank you, sir.
All right.